Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another Baddies USA Chapter 1 reunion review. This review is for part 3, so let's get right into it. So part 3 of the Baddies USA Chapter 1 reunion picks up with the fight between Fauna and Diamond. Diamond is drunk out of her mind at this point, and during the fight between Diamond and Fauna, Diamond ends up snatching up Natalie and tossing her to the ground, and everybody swarms over there to try to break it up because they don't understand why Diamond's attacking Natalie. But Diamond gets up off the floor and she's saying that that wasn't supposed to be for Natalie, it was supposed to be Fauna. So I guess she thought that Natalie was Fauna. At first I did not believe that she mistaked Natalie for Fauna because I just didn't think it was really possible for her to mistake the two of them. But seeing as she was so drunk that she didn't even remember getting into a fight with Fauna, I actually believe now that that wasn't meant for Natalie. And Rollie and Tinker are trying so hard to get Diamond off the stage because they know that she's too drunk to be up there, let alone be up there fighting. But Diamond was not budging and she continuously tried to fight Fauna, but eventually they were able to calm Diamond down and get her to sit down and stop trying to fight because she was in no condition to be fighting anybody. But now DJ Sky ends up coming to the stage and Mariah Lynn starts going off, calling out DJ Sky, saying that the two of them need to fight because apparently when they were at a booking, DJ Sky brought 3 girls to jump her, and I did see the clip going around of Mariah Lynn getting attacked on stage and Big Lex was over there stopping her from being jumped, and DJ Sky was a part of it. And so Mariah Lynn claims that DJ Sky brought those girls with her to jump her, and DJ Sky saying that it's not true, that she didn't bring anybody to jump Mariah Lynn and that she never jumped her. Now, while Mariah Lynn and DJ Sky are going back and forth with each other, Tommie ends up running onto the stage. She has this big black and white coat on. It looks like there's feathers all over it. Honestly, she looked like she was dressed like a bird to me. I thought it was funny the way that she came on stage. Tommie definitely knows how to make an entrance, but as soon as she got on that stage, Big Lex hopped out of her seat so fast and ran across the room, and she just started hitting Tommie as much as she could because she knew that once security got over there and protected Tommie, there was no way that she was going to get at her again. Tommie ended up falling to the floor and everything, and once security ended up grabbing Big Lex, that's when Tavy ran over there and she tried to fight Tommie too, but security ended up snatching her up as well. I'll say this, I didn't understand why Santana was so upset when Lex jumped up out of her seat and ran at Tommie the way that she did because the woman threw glass in her face, so I don't understand why he would think that Lex would do anything different. I mean, if Tommie was the type to actually square up with Big Lex face to face, then I feel like Lex would have called her out, but knowing Tommie, Tommie would have just left and Tommie would have just had security around her and Lex would have never been able to get her lick back on Tommie, so that's the reason why she ran at her the way that she did. But once Tommie gets up off the floor, her jacket falls off because Big Lex tries to run over there and fight her again, but security snatches her up, and then out of nowhere, Cold Killer just runs up and she pops Tommie in the side of the face and Tommie falls to the floor. I honestly think that Tommie was drunk when she came out there, and that's the reason why she kept falling the way that she was, especially when Cold Killer hit her. I think she was drunk, honestly, because I think Tommie shows up drunk to these reunions all the time. I don't know that for sure, it just seems like it. And while all of this is happening, DJ Sky and Mariah Lynn are in the corner throwing kicks at each other, and I'm like, Lord, what the hell is going on right now? Like, why are they throwing kicks at each other? To me, nobody wanted to see DJ Sky and Mariah Lynn fight. I mean, I'm speaking for myself here. I didn't care to see the two of them fight because we know that Mariah Lynn's not scary really, but we know that DJ Sky is scary and we know that neither one of them can really fight. So what is them fighting really going to do for the reunion? Tommie is backstage and she's looking at her face in a mirror and she's smiling at first, and then she sees that she has a cut and her nose is bleeding, and that's when she starts going off. And I'm sorry, Tommie be drunk at these reunions trolling, and it's actually really entertaining. Mariah Lynn is chasing DJ Sky around the stage, and for some reason the audience is cheering for DJ Sky, and I don't understand why. I mean, I don't feel like DJ Sky is unlikable. I do think she's likable and I think it's okay for her to not be a fighter, but if you're going to be on a show like Baddies, you're going to end up fighting at some point, and so if you're going to run and be scary, I don't think this is the show for you. So I was kind of confused as to why the fans were cheering for DJ Sky. It was kind of interesting to me. But Mariah Lynn and DJ Sky are standing there on stage going back and forth. Mariah Lynn's telling DJ Sky to run up, DJ Sky's telling Mariah Lynn to run up. This is just my opinion, but I feel like because Mariah Lynn's the one that called out the fade, she's the one that wanted to fight, she's the one that should have ran up on DJ Sky. I'm sorry, her telling DJ Sky to run up when you know that she's scary and she didn't want to fight you to begin with didn't make any sense to me. But they finally start fighting with each other, and honestly, neither one of them did anything. This fight could have been completely cut out the reunion and wouldn't have made any difference. Diamond gets up drunk again, trying to call Fauna out for a fight, and everybody's confused trying to figure out why the two of them are fighting to begin with. Apparently, the reason why the two of them are fighting with each other is because Diamond had went online and said that she felt like Fauna was boring. She said that she liked Fauna, but she thought Fauna wasn't right for Baddies because she really didn't bring anything to the season. So Fauna doesn't really want to fight Diamond because she knows that Diamond's drunk, and also Fauna's eye is messed up. She claims that she can't really see that much out of it, so she didn't want to fight either. But the two of them start fighting with each other, and at first neither one of them are really doing anything. Fauna did catch Diamond a few times, and then Natalie went over there and tried to break it up, and Fauna just took her hand and she popped Diamond in the face one good time when Natalie was trying to break it up. Meanwhile, Tommie is backstage and the camera is in her face, like directly in her face, and she just takes her fist and she punches the camera out of her face. I'm sorry, but even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Tommie does, she's definitely good for reality TV. She's very entertaining, and that was funny to me. But Janisha ends up announcing that there's a special guest and she brings out Summer. The crowd is cheering for her, and it's because nobody knew that Summer was coming because she was online saying every day that she was not coming to the reunion, so everybody was actually surprised that she ended up showing up. But as soon as she showed up, she walked from the audience. She didn't come from backstage, and Rollie immediately hops up out of her seat and she wants to fight Summer. Rollie and Summer are going back and forth with each other, and I do like the fact that Summer wasn't really backing down from Rollie. She was yelling back at her because Rollie has a tendency of thinking that because she's been on the show for a long time that she has some type of authority over the girls that come on the show. And I like the fact that Summer isn't really kissing Rollie's ass because some of the new girls do come on the show and they act like they're afraid of Rollie. But I do kind of understand why Rollie feels some type of way about Summer because she thought they were cool with each other. She said that she was there for Summer throughout the season, behind the scenes and in front of the camera, and she said that all of a sudden Summer started getting in her confessionals and making negative comments about her, and she didn't even know that there was a problem between the two of them. But Rollie was trying to tell Summer to run up, and it's like, but you're the one with the problem. You're the one that wants to fight her, so you run up on her. I feel like Rollie likes for the other person to run up on her so that she can grab them when they run over there and she can take control of the fight. That's the way that I noticed that she fights a lot of the time. She lets the other person run up on her first, but Summer was not going and she didn't give Rollie the fight right this second. But there seems to be a lot of tension in the Pretty Three because first of all, we saw that Fauna and Cold Killer were not jumping in for K-Rican, they were jumping in for each other. And now Dolly and Cold Killer are arguing, going back and forth with each other. It seems like Dolly wants to fight Cold Killer, but Cold Killer was not trying to fight her. And Fauna was holding on to Cold Killer, and Cold Killer snapped at her. She told Fauna to get the fuck off of her, and Fauna did. And look, all I'm saying that if it was the big three that were talking to each other like that, everybody would have called it out and said that they were not real friends. But then Cold Killer gets to talk to Fauna like that, and nobody says anything about them not actually being friends. And look, I'm not somebody who doesn't know that friends sometimes get snappy with each other, or they give each other an attitude, or they get frustrated, but it seems like with the Pretty Three, this seems to happen a lot between them. But because Cold Killer was not trying to fight Dolly, Dolly ended up running like a bat out of hell, and she snuck Summer from behind, and she kind of dropped her to the floor a little bit. They didn't really get to actually fight though because Summer was caught off guard and she was falling all over the place. I do wish that they would have actually had a head-up fight, but I don't really want to see Dolly and Summer fight each other. I know that they're not friends with each other anymore, but I just don't want to see the two of them fight. Just like I'm glad that Lex didn't end up fighting Summer at this reunion because I didn't want to see them fight again too. Lex kept yelling Summer's name, trying to get her attention because she wanted to ask her something, but Summer really wasn't paying attention to her for a little while, and then Lex finally got her attention. She started asking Summer why she came to the reunion because she was going off telling everybody that she was not coming, but then she showed up anyway. Lex starts telling everybody that they shouldn't view Summer as a victim in the situation between her and Dolly because she's not a victim in that situation, and I actually do agree. I don't have an issue with Summer, not really. I don't like some of the things she does, but I think she's entertaining for the show, and I don't think that she should go anywhere. But in the situation with her, Dolly, and Lex, I do feel like she's not a victim in that situation. I don't feel like any of them are really victims in this situation because Dolly and Lex did know who Summer was when they decided to befriend her, but you don't expect your friend to talk to you or treat you the way that they've treated other people because of the bond that you have with them. So it probably did catch them off guard. But Summer's not a victim in this situation because when Dolly and Lex were trying to stop her from getting beat up by Tasiki, she was yelling and screaming at them, pushing them, treating them bad, telling them to get the fuck out of her face. And that's when they started yelling at her too because, I mean, she was disrespecting them. I feel like it's a sad situation. I liked them as a trio, but I do like them all separately now too. But Rollie and Summer get to arguing with each other, and then they finally start fighting, and Summer worked Rollie during this fight. Like, she definitely won. Rollie wasn't even really able to get her hands on Summer at this point. And I'm not gonna lie, I know that Summer's fighting skills have gotten better since Baddies Midwest, but I was actually surprised that she ended up winning this fight against Rollie. I thought that Rollie was gonna be swinging Summer around that stage floor like a rag doll, and that did not end up happening. Summer won that fight. And Rollie was so mad about it because she lost. Everybody was saying that she lost the fight. Even Santana was yelling about how Summer won, and obviously Rollie doesn't like that, so she was trying to get back at Summer, but Summer said that she was not fighting Rollie again. But because Summer was backing into the audience and she wasn't paying attention, Rollie did catch her in the face. Like, Rollie did pop her, and I think she kind of popped her in the lip, and I think her lip was either bleeding or it became a little bit swollen because Rollie was able to get her hands on her when Summer backed into the audience. But Tommie ends up coming out from the audience. She's standing next to Summer. She has some tissue in her nose because her nose was bleeding from when Big Lex was whooping her in the corner. And Tommie and Summer were trying to get on the stage so that they can go backstage, but Lex walked right by where they were standing at, and both of them turned around and went the other way. Summer ended up going backstage and completely leaving the reunion, and Tommie ended up in the audience. Dolly ran up on Cold Killer, and I think she ran up on her because that was the only way she was going to be able to get her hands on her, because it seemed like Cold Killer did not want to run the fade with Dolly. I don't know why, but she didn't. Lex finds out that Tommie is outside backstage in the parking lot, and Lex starts running like she's on the basketball court. She starts dodging all of the security guards. They had to really put in work to catch Lex, and I thought that was so funny because when they finally caught Lex, they were laughing at the fact that she ran so fast that they weren't even able to keep up with her. Santana starts asking DJ Aerie how she ended up involved in the beef between Tavy and Fauna, and she wasn't really saying much. All she was doing was asking Tavy why Tavy involved her in the beef that she had with Fauna. And Tavy, from what I gathered from what she was saying, was that when her and Fauna would get into it and then they would be standing next to each other, DJ Aerie would be right there like she was Fauna's bodyguard, and I feel like that's what Tavy was trying to say in this conversation, but they weren't really getting to the point, and Santana and everybody was asking what's going on between Fauna and DJ Aerie. Was there a Summer and Big Lex situation going on between the two of them? And they just smiled and laughed. They wouldn't answer the question, so for me, that gave me the answer that I needed from that situation, that something's definitely going on between Fauna and DJ Aerie. DJ Aerie is attractive, she is, and Fauna is too, so to me, I don't see an issue with it. But why was Tavy telling Lex that because they don't have beef with each other, she's supposed to have her back and make sure nobody does anything? And I think that was crazy that she was doing that, because even though her and Big Lex don't have an issue with each other anymore, it's not really Lex's job to have her back, but Lex did have her back during this reunion. Every time Fauna, Cold Killer, and K-Rican tried to jump Tavy, Big Lex was right over there to snatch them up to make sure it didn't happen. So Lex did do that for Tavy, even though she really doesn't have to. Santana ends up asking if there's anybody that has any issues with Dolly, and Dolly and Cold Killer start going back and forth with each other, and I like Cold Killer, I do, but it seems like every time she goes back and forth with Dolly, she takes the things that she sees the fans say in the comment section about Dolly and she uses it against her, because she started saying in this back and forth that Dolly took Summer's whole personality, and I don't know where she's getting that from, because I don't think that Dolly and Summer act anything alike. Like, I don't see it. I don't see that Dolly took Summer's personality. I don't see that any of them took each other's personality. To me, they brought all different dynamics to that trio that they had. They were all different from each other, but yet they all had each other's back. So I don't feel like Dolly took Summer's personality. But then Tavy starts getting into it with Cold Killer and K-Rican, and K-Rican says that Tavy wanted to eat her, and Killer said that it was true, that it was in Africa, that Tavy wanted to eat both K-Rican and Russian Cream. I don't know if it's true or not, but Tavy didn't necessarily say that they were lying about it, or at least I didn't hear her say it, and both of them are saying that it happened, so I don't know, I kind of believe it a little bit. Santana and Janisha start asking the crowd about this heavy hitter situation, who's the heaviest hitter, Lex or Tasiki, and I think it's so annoying that they're running with this heavy hitter situation, because of course they're gonna say themselves as the heaviest hitter. I mean, that's what I would expect. I would expect for them to say themselves as the heaviest hitter. I wouldn't expect for them to say somebody else was. It doesn't matter who's the heaviest hitter. It's the fact that both of them can fight. People just want an issue between the two of them so bad. They want them to fight so bad. They even included Ivory in it, because Ivory is on Baddies USA Chapter 2, and they even want her to beef with Lex and Tasiki. So it's crazy how much the fans want these girls to fight each other. Santana starts asking Tasiki if she understands why Biggie is upset at the fact that she hugged Big Lex on stage. And look, I don't think that it was a good look for Tasiki to hug Big Lex after Lex just slapped Biggie, who's supposed to be her friend. But I feel like Tasiki was trying to calm Lex down by hugging her so that Lex would not whoop Biggie again. That's why I think she hugged Lex. I think she hugged Lex because she thought that it would calm Lex down so that Lex wouldn't try to fight Biggie again. Biggie kept running her mouth, and that's the reason why Lex ran into the stage and started fighting her again. And while Tasiki and Lex are having this conversation on stage, Biggie just pops up out of nowhere, out of the audience, and she starts yelling about Tasiki hugging Lex. And Lex goes off. She said that people like Biggie, who are friends with people who can fight like her and Tasiki, like to run their mouth to people and then expect their friends that can fight to fight their battles for them, and that's not fair. And I do agree with that. I think that's true. And I don't think that it's fair. Just because you have a friend that can fight doesn't give you the right to run your mouth and start trouble with people and then expect for your friend to come over there and clean up the mess and fight your battle for you. That's not fair. And then while Biggie was in the audience, she was arguing with people in the audience because I think they were talking shit to her and she didn't like it. So they were going back and forth and she was talking about she can get people to beat them up. This is what she does all the time. She tries to get people to fight for her even though she's the one causing problems. But Janisha is trying to do the final thoughts because obviously they filmed this very late. Like they film it really early in the morning. I think at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning they filmed it. So she was ready to go. She was ready for final thoughts. But Dolly was not letting it happen because she called out Cold Killer for a fight again. And Cold Killer told her that she was not fighting her. So Dolly ends up walking up to where Cold Killer, Fauna, and K. Rican are. And I love that Lex jumped up out of her seat and she stood behind Dolly because she wanted to make sure it was an even playing field, because had Dolly would have ran up on Cold Killer, there was a big chance that K. Rican and Fauna would have jumped in. Then Tinka gets up and she snatches up K. Rican. And Santana ended up asking Fauna and Killa why they weren't jumping Tinka, because they jumped Tavy, but they won't jump Tinkerbella, and it doesn't make any sense. They were already jumping at the reunion. And it's like they tried to jump Tavy, but Tavy's not even fighting K. Rican anymore. It was Tinka that was the one that was whooping K. Rican, so you would think that's the person that they would jump, but they just stood there and they didn't do anything. Tinka and K. Rican start fighting with each other, and obviously Tinka won because K. Rican can't fight. She puts her head down all the time, and her lip was bleeding too because, you know, Tinka popped her in the mouth. They're about to fight again with each other. They're going back and forth. Everybody's telling them no and to stop because we already know what the result is going to be, that K. Rican's going to lose and Tinka's going to win, so it's no point in them fighting again. But they're in each other's faces, and K. Rican spits at Tinka, like spits in her face. So Tinka spits back at her, and they start fighting again, and again K. Rican lost. They didn't do much in the last round, but I was like tired of watching the two of them fight because I was tired of watching K. Rican get her ass beat. But that was absolutely disgusting that K. Rican was spitting like that, and I need people to have the same energy that they had for Summer last season when she spit at Cold Killer and them. They need to have that same energy for K. Rican for spitting at Tinka, because that was gross. Janisha was trying to do final thoughts, but she just said, screw it, we're not doing final thoughts because it's late and everybody's still fighting with each other, so let's just end the reunion right here. I think that part 2 and 3 saved the Baddies USA Chapter 1 reunion. I think this reunion was not that bad at all. I thought it was entertaining. I thought it was funny. This is one of the funniest reunions they've had, so I think it was good. I enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys thought about part 3 of the Baddies USA Chapter 1 reunion down in the comment section, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.